The plot of the film is a free deconstruction of a medieval poem. In general, following her plot, the film shows the main character not a brave knight, but a weak, imperfect person. The film begins with a scene where Gawain sits on a throne in the king's clothes, while the crown drops on top of him, after which his head flashes with fire. Gawain wakes up on a Christmas morning in a brothel with his girlfriend Essel. He goes to Camelot, where he talks with his mother, who refuses to go to the Christmas dinner to his Uncle King. At dinner, the king invites Gawain to sit with him and the queen. At the same time, Gawain's mother spends a magic ritual in the tower. At the same moment, the meal and Knights of the Round Table interrupt the appearance of the Green Knight. He gives the king a challenge. Any knight capable of inflicting an injury to him will receive his axe as a trophy. But in a year and 1 day it undertakes to come to the chapel to get a similar response blow. Gawain is called to the battle, and the king gives him his sword. However, instead of fighting, the Green Knight himself gives Gawain his axe and allows him to chop off his head. Despite this, after a few seconds a Green Knight gets up, taking his severed head, and leaves, reminding Gawain about the persuasion. During the year, the story of Gawain and the Green Knight becomes popular in Camelot. When winter comes, the king comes to Gawain and reminds that it's time to go on the road. He takes with him an axe won by a Green Knight, and his mother gives him a green belt with the words that while he wears him, no one can harm him. On the way, Gawain drives the battlefield and meets the marauder, who indicates his way to the chapel. But this turns out to be a deception. In fact, the looter lures the hero in an ambush and, with the help of 2 other robbers, takes the horse, axe, and belt of the mother. Gawain remains connected in the forest and imagines how only the skeleton will remain from him in a year, but still he manages to free himself. By night, Gawain gets to an abandoned house, where he falls asleep, but he is waking the ghost of a young girl, the holy Winifred, who asks him to get her severed head from the stream. Gawain takes out the skull, and Winifred promises to patronize him on the way. The next morning, Gawain finds a stolen axe. On a journey to Gawain, a fox suddenly joins. Having eaten unknown mushrooms from the cave, they meet giant naked women who go through the valley. Gawain gets to the castle of the Lord and Lady Bertilk, who invite him to stay with them for 2 days, and then go to the chapel, which is not far from. An elderly lady also lives with them. The Lord knows about Gawain, and therefore offers him the best in his house, including a carcass of a deer killed by him as a food on the return trip. The Lord's wife, who looks like Essel, tries to seduce Gawain, and the Lord offers him a deal. He will give him all the hunting trophies of these 2 days, and Gawain will give him everything that he can get in his castle. The next day, the lady shows Gawain the same green belt that his mother gave him, but says that she sewed him herself. They are engaged in mutual masturbation, and Gawain ejaculates on the belt. This is seen by an elderly lady. Gawain runs away from the castle ahead of time, meeting the Lord, who, according to the persuasion, gives him a fox trap, and Gawain returns the kiss that lady gave him, but is silent about his belt. On the way to the chapel, a fox blocks the road, who is trying to persuade him to turn him back with a human voice, but Gawain drives her away. Gawain gets to the chapel, where he finds a Green Knight sitting motionless until the day of Christmas. Gawain returns the axe with a knight. He swings at Gawain twice, and both times Gawain retreats away in fear and asks him to give him time to get together with the spirit. For the 3rd time, Gawain refuses the persuasion and runs back to Camelot. Since then, he no longer removes the green belt even in bed. The king devotes him to the knights, and after the death of King Gawain rises to the throne. Essel gives birth to his son, But Gawain takes away the child, as he cannot connect his life with a commoner, and marries a noble woman. The son grows up and dies in the battle. After many years, the already aged Gawain still runs a Camelot, but is not popular with residents. Residents raise the uprising, besiege his castle, and even the family leaves King Gawain. Only left alone, Gawain for the first time removes the green belt, and at the same moment his head, chopped off, falls to the floor. Gawain comes to his senses from a possible future and discovers that he is still under the axe of the Green Knight. He takes off his belt and is preparing to meet his fate. The knight praises Gawain for courage and tells him, "And now down with his head." On this, the narrative breaks off. The final remains open for interpretations. Spectators will not find out whether the knight really chopped off the hero's head or, as in a poem, spared him. In the scene after the credits, a little girl finds a crown and puts her on her head.